I'm planning something, and I'm over the outreach ministry at my church, and I'm always planning something in the community. And sometimes I get bothered and stressed and overwhelmed when someone is not able to participate. And so I've learned that, it's okay if they don't. They may be able to do something at a later time. And I found out by me thinking, changing my thoughts about that, it helped me to stay calm. It helped me to continue to flow and stay focused on what I need to do. And it also helped me not to look at them in a different light, because we can also look at people differently when something is, we don't want them, we want them to do something for us. If it's not possible to say no when your boss asks you to work overtime, try to remember something else from your agenda to make up that lost time. Don't abandon healthy habits. Don't let the holidays become a free-for-all. Overindulge only adds to your stress and guilt. Try these suggestions. Have a healthy snack before the holiday party so that you don't overload on sweets, cheese, and drinks. Get plenty of sleep. Incorporate regular daily activities. Take a breather. Make some time for yourself. Spending just 15 minutes alone without distractions may refresh you enough to handle everything you need to do. Find something that reduces stress by clearing your mind, slowing your breathing, and restoring your inner self. And for me, that is a big thing, because I feel I am constantly on the go. But there are times when, for instance, today, after seeing my client, I was able to go walk on the beach. And it was so refreshing. I was able to spend 15 minutes just walking on the water, walking on the beach, and seeing the different seashells and experiencing the view of the birds and people coming out fishing, and being able to talk to some of the people, about their catch and where they're from and different things. It does something wonderful to you. It really does refresh you. It really does calm you. And it slowed me down. And it also calmed me so that I can continue on and do what I need to do for the rest of my day. And another suggestion and options that they offer is taking a walk at night and stargazing. Listen to smooth music or get a massage. So those are some good tips, especially during this holiday season, when we do feel overwhelmed, when we do feel that we have to continue to run and we're in the hustle and the bustle of getting everything in order. We can become stressed. It is evident. But the tips will also help you to know how to eliminate or how to minimize the stress. So if you wanted to know more about the different tips or if you want to read up on more, you can go to www.mayoclinic.org, and you can just type in tips for the holiday, stress or depression or family issues or whatever you want to deal with through this holiday season. You can go right on their website, and they have all the information, all the resources that you would need. And if it's not something that you're dealing with, and you may know someone who's dealing with these situations or overcoming a lot of unnecessary or extra stress, then just share that information. Just pass it along. And finally, I want to say, take control of the holidays. Don't let the holidays become something you dread. Instead, take steps to prevent the stress and depression that can descend during the holidays. Learn to recognize your holiday triggers, such as financial pressures, the demand of having to overspend, the demand of having to meet every expectation and obligation, which will help you to avoid the meltdown. It will help you to be more focused. You will be able to plan better. You'll be able to think better. And it said that you'll even be at peaceful. So I just wanted to share with you another story about my holidays. I'll just share with you about the one that I had last year. This was during a time when one of my daughter was very, very ill. And it was very stressful for me at that moment because I couldn't really get to her at that time that I wanted to get to her. And having information brought to me over the phone and different things was very stressful. And at a point in time, I did get depressed. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to eat. And it was because I wanted to be where she was at. I wanted to be so I can be there and see what's really going on. I can ask questions and I can have that input, and I can just be available. But what happened was I was still able to go to her, but it wasn't the time that I wanted. It wasn't in that time frame. And that made me anxious. That made me stressful because I didn't have the finances at that moment. I didn't know how I was going to get the finances. And at the same time, I felt, well, I'm not a mom. I'm not a good mom because I should be there already. Oh, and so all of these things, all of these negative thoughts and all of the problems that comes up when you're stressed. And when something doesn't go right, we automatically focus on us. We focus inwardly. So during that time, like again, I said, I was able to get to her, and I felt better. I felt I was at the right place at the right time. And no matter how much anxious I was and how worried I was during that time, I looked at the situation. I looked at where we were there together. And the moment that I saw that, you know what? It didn't matter how hard it was to get here or when I was able to get here. The point was I arrived. I made it. I was there for her. And we spent that time together. We spent that time loving on her, and she was able to come out of the hospital, and the rest of my daughters was there, and my sister, she came down from Norfolk, and different family members came to her house, and we just had a really good time. We took pictures, we ate, we played music. I believe we even did karaoke, but you know what? The sad time, it just went away. Because when you're in the situation and you're very stressful and it can be overwhelming, I just sat there and I just looked at how much love that she had, how much love I had to give her. And when I was dealing with it, it was hard. I had to pray. I'm a woman of faith. And even as Christians, we go through things. We deal with situations that we do not want to go through, or we feel like we don't have to go through them because we're Christians, But I went through that. I felt helpless trying to get to her, and I couldn't get to her. I felt, is she going to make it? Is she going to be okay? It was all the information given to me that I needed to know. Was anything being held back? Because I'm a person, because my daughter's been sick, a lot. She's better. She's even on the process, still getting better now. Still, I'm the one in the family that will ask questions. So I want to know everything, and I'm going to ask until I'm finished with it. And so trying to depend on other family members to relay things, and it wasn't coming across the way it should be, and some of the information wasn't reliable. I became so upset. I became so anxious and worried. Will I get there? Will she be okay? And in that stressful time, in that pain of not knowing if I was going to get there, when I would get there, will I get there at the right time? My heart was just sinking as I was driving, as I was just thinking about her. My mind was just overwrought with my daughter. I got to get to my daughter. What's going on? And then when we get there, it was like a breath of fresh air, because it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. It still was bad, but it wasn't as bad as we thought it would be. And again, she was able to come home. But it put me in a caregiver state. And it was something that I wasn't expecting. I didn't think to prepare for it. It wasn't something that, I was ready for, but I was in it. And so I knew in order for me to look beyond how I feel, to look beyond what I see, I had to pray. I had to believe that, God, you're here with me. You're going to walk me through this. You're going to walk us through this, and it's going to get better. And I kept praying, and I just asked the Lord to help me clear my mind, help me to think on things that are pleasant, think on things, show me something in the situation that is good. And you know what? He would show us something good, even in the most heart-aching, retching, confused, unstable situation. God will show you something good to focus on. And when he showed me that we were there together, the love for my family and that came from different parts of the city, that's all that mattered. He let me know how damaging worry and anxiety can be, because when you're worried, I know when I was worried and I was anxious, I wasn't thinking clearly. I was speeding and I was just trying to get there. I was reckless on the road. All those things comes in play because you're just nervous. But when he reminded me to pray, and he reminded me that he's the one that's going to take care of it and he's with me, I don't have to be worried. I don't have to be anxious. I could just pray and know that and give it to him. And he can help me stand through the midst of my situation, in the midst of my pain, in the midst of my uncertainty. God was there for us, and he still is and will always be. And now when I looked at just last Christmas, just 1 year ago, to where my daughter was so tattered and so broken and so torn, so sick, to where I see her now. And I thank God for that. I thank God that he helped me to see that in the midst of anxiety, in the midst of our stress, in the midst of the feeling depressed or isolated or lonely, that he's there for us. He promised that he would never leave or forsake us. We just have to remind ourselves that he's here with us, even when we don't understand what's going on in our lives, even when we don't understand what we need to do or what we shouldn't do, or how to deal with situations or circumstances. So the greatest Christmas present that you can deal with is pray and enjoy your family. Enjoy the times that you have together. Don't stress over all of the presents and all of the agendas that we know that you have to do and it has to get done. But take the time and prepare yourself before you even go and do it. This is a suggestion. Listen to some, like they said, listen to some music before you even have to go into the grocery store or prepare meals or something. Take a moment and just listen to some music or dance around the house or do something to prepare you to move forward and do what you need to do for your family and your friends. You're live with Necee. I am your host, Opal Bailey. God bless you.